The podcast you've been looking for all along. Step into the life of urban exploration with guests from around the world. Welcome to No Tracers. Welcome back to the No Tracers podcast. How's it going? My name is Kay, just the letter K, and I'm your host on this show all about urban exploration. This week on the podcast, I'm speaking with Cursed Sketchbook, aka Mr. Sketch on Instagram. Well, his username is cursed.sketchbook, but he is known as Mr. Sketch. So this guy is from Portugal, and he takes these amazing photos, and then he draws sketches into the photos, and it is some of the most unique artwork I have ever seen. And personally, I've been to Portugal. I visited the abandoned Panoramico de Monsanto in Lisbon, or outside of Lisbon, and it was absolutely amazing. If you guys want to check out the video of that exploration, you can head to the Just the Letter K YouTube channel. You can also watch this episode on the Just the Letter K YouTube channel and see Mr. Sketch's sketches and photos while you listen to the show. So if you guys want to head over there, please do that. If you're new to the show, please hit the subscribe button. And if you've listened to for one episode or 50 episodes, please do me a favor and leave a rating and feedback on the show. Let other people know what you like about it. And you can do this on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show grow. We are over 6,000 listens on this show on Apple Podcasts alone. I don't know the numbers on Spotify or on YouTube, but thank you guys for listening to the show. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Before we get into it, there's a few housekeeping things I need to let you know about. And first of all, I am tired of people on YouTube specifically saying like, oh my God, the intro is like 5 minutes long of just you talking. Get to the episode. Like, what the heck? Listen, this is my show. I can talk however long I want for the intro because it's my show. If you don't like it, make your own podcast. That's all I have to say about that. For everybody else, thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. If you guys want to check out my photography book, I have a book called No Tracers, an Urban Explorer's Diary, and it's full of my stories and my photos of my explorations. So if you guys want to pick up a copy of that or read my blog, you can go to notracers.com. There's also all of my urban exploring videos up on that website as well. So if you want to check it out, please do so. And the last thing I need to let you know about is that I have a partner here on the podcast, and that is Liquid Death Water. Liquid Death is an amazing company. They've been working with me for this entire podcast, and I've actually made an ad for you if you want to check it out in 3, 2, 1. From the streams of the Austrian Alps comes a new kind of water, a water that is sure to raise you from your grave. If you're tired of buying cases of plastic water bottles that contain carcinogens and God knows what else, or if you're trying to lower your waste footprint, Liquid Death comes in beautifully rugged aluminum cans. Murder your thirst with a can of Liquid Death. Check the link in the description and use code JustTheLetterK at checkout for 10% off your order. Liquid Death. Murder your thirst. So if you guys want 10% off your order of Liquid Death Mountain Water, head to liquiddeath.com and use code JustTheLetterK at checkout for 10% off. Otherwise, you can use the direct link in the description, and that will automatically apply that coupon code for you at checkout. All right, without further ado, Cursed Sketchbook, can you please introduce yourself and how long you've been exploring to the No Tracers audience?
Okay, so my name is Francisco. I am from Portugal, and I am 27 years old. I've been doing urban exploring for quite long now, but only start documented by like 4 months ago. So I'm kind of new with this. So yeah, I'm just going with the flow.
Love it. So what got you into exploring abandoned places in the first place? Like, who got you into it, or how did you get into it?
I think this passion started with my father. Like when I was little, like a kid. Me and my father, we used to go to my grandparents' house. His parents. They lived in like this like this horror movie house, like in the middle of the woods by a river. And yeah, it just by close to this house, there were these mills. We have to walk through the woods and to get there, and they were just like abandoned it right there, and just we just started to do this everywhere.
Wow, that's amazing. So your first exploration was with your father to these abandoned mills. What was that like for you? Like, what was it like the first time walking into an abandoned place?
I just loved it. I am a horror fan since I was little. I always loved horror movies, and I just and the first time I saw that, I was like, whoa, this is awesome, man. I was like, I just couldn't. I just was just imagining all the kind of things that could have happened in there. And then just me and my father, we started exploring this kind of abandoning buildings, and I just loved it. I just never documented it. I didn't know urbex was a big thing on social media until 2020.
Wow. So what made you pick up a camera? Like, what was the first camera you got, and why did you want to start documenting it?
The first time I got a camera was just this year. I'm not. I only did. I only explored for the passion of exploring. But yeah, I was. This one time I went with my friend, and he said, "Dude, you need to take some pictures of this." And I just take pictures with my smartphone, but nothing good, nothing great. So I got this good deal with a camera, and I bought it, and I'm just learning. I still learning with all this camera, all this photography work. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, your photos stood out to me on Instagram, which is why I wanted you to come on the show and share some of your stories with the audience here. Can you talk about the gear that you use? So, like, what kind of camera you have, maybe the kind of shoes that you wear, or a backpack that you carry all your stuff in? Like, what kind of gear are you using?
Well, my camera, it's a Canon EOS 2000D. In my opinion, it's a really great camera. I don't really know much about it, but I just love it. I love the high resolution quality. It's good. It's good for edition. I just started to editing images. I still learning how to edit, but I just love it.
Hmm.
And my backpack, I don't really have a pro backpack. I just had this really old backpack. It's a Quicksilver. I think that's the brand of the.
Oh, yeah.
I just use it. It's my lucky backpack. I have all these metal band badges on it. I just love it. And my
That's
shoes.
awesome, man.
I love metal. I am a metalhead.
Me too, me
Uh,
too.
great. Um, my shoes. I always wear comfortable shoes, but the ones that I like the most are my Nike Air Force. I just love them.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that everybody has their own style of like what they bring to these places, whether it's like your bag or your shoes. I think that everybody's different, and like everybody has their own preference when it comes to that kind of stuff. So my next question is, do you have any urban exploration injury stories? Have you ever been hurt while exploring?
Not really. I don't think I have ever got an injury, but I'm always careful. I must say that because sometimes we get into these houses, and I just look at the floor and I'm like, oh no, I'm not stepping on that.
For sure. Yeah, I totally get it. Like, a lot of these places are very unsafe, but like what is it that makes you keep exploring? Like, what is the mentality that you have while exploring? What do you get out of it as like as a an artist or as an explorer? Like, why do you do this?
I must say I do this for the art. I love to edit the images and turning into some kind of horror stories. I just love that, and I really love the feedback from from the people who see my pictures, and I just keep doing it.
That's awesome. And can you tell me about some of your scariest explorations?
Okay, so there's this house. It's actually a really famous house in Portugal, in the Urbex community, and I just live right right by it, you know, and we call it the Guardian's house. And this one time, I took my friend with me, and I've been visiting this house. It is like four stores, and there's an old car in the front. It's just really creepy, and I just took my friend, and we were like, and I was like, yeah, no, it's okay. I never got into any problems by being here. I mean, I took my dog to there, and I never had any problems. So we were just like taking pictures with our cameras, and this lady comes up and she just starts screaming. she 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 came screaming at us, and she was like, she had this burning cheers in her hand, and we were like, I was like, oh shit. She was like, she said she was calling the cops, and I really got scared because this man came with her, and he had a fork, this giant fork, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh shit. I mean, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, that never happened to me before. So then we just talked, and I think I got to understand what we were doing there, and I had this sketch from the house that I draw. I drew the house, and I just offered to her, and she liked it. She loved it. She told me to sign it and to put a date on the drawing, and I think we got out. I got lucky.
That's amazing that she ended up like taking a sketch from you after like exploring. That's so funny to me.
Yeah, I really got lucky by having that sketch on my hand, because I just like to go to these places. It was really a quiet place, you know. I've been visiting it. I've been visiting it for like a year, and I never had any problems in there. And just one day, I took my
Hmm.
friend with me, and she just comes up screaming with that burning cheers in her hand, and the man behind her with that giant fork, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy what can happen at these places. You never know what to expect, you know? And can you talk about exploring around Portugal? Like, what is it like over there? Like, what is the community like, and what is it like to explore in Portugal? I mean, we talked beforehand. I've been to the Panoramico de Monsanto, and that's like the only place that I knew existed in Portugal. So, can you talk a little bit more about exploring around your area and what it's like there?
Okay, so when I created this Urbex profile, I didn't know much locations, so I just started, you know, local stuff, and you know, I made friends in the way, so they start giving me these locations. They you should totally visit these places, but you know, people are sometimes, you know, I try to cover up my camera so no one sees it, because sometimes people just start staring at us like we're committing some kind of crime. And there was this time that they called the cops on me, and just the cops, they came and they caught me, and they told me to, they searched for drugs, and they asked me if I stole something from the house, and I was like, the house is abandoned, there's nothing to steal. But yeah, sometimes we gotta be careful so people don't see us coming in, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Have you been to the abandoned Panoramico de Monsanto in Lisbon?
Oh, I wish. I am from the north. I am from Porto. The
Uh,
Panoramico is like more south of Portugal. I'm trying to complete the north area and then start moving south. You know. So no, I haven't. But I will. I assure you that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was definitely like my favorite thing that I saw there. It's so beautiful, and I made a video about it, and I say in the video like I would love to explore it again with the architect that built the building to see like what he thinks of it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's completely vandalized.
Yeah, it's totally covered in graffiti and stuff, and it's like, I wonder what the guy that built it thinks of it. You know, it's just like crazy to me to think that it looks totally different now than what it did when he first put it together. And then, can you tell me about your favorite exploration?
My favorite exploration, uh, it would be this theater I visited. I like a lot visiting houses. It's my favorite thing is houses, but that theater, I just loved it. Everyone said it was impossible because the way where it is located is really difficult to get inside, and everything is locked up, and to enter you need to climb to a window. And so I went there in the morning, really early in the morning, and I managed to get in, and I just loved it. I wish there were more theaters to for me to visit, and I am always looking for theaters right now. Is like my obsession. I love theaters.
You should come to America. There's a guy that I just interviewed on my podcast called After the Final Curtain, and he explores only abandoned theaters in America. And there
Oh
are
shit.
hundreds and like thousands of abandoned theaters here, and he helps like get them restored so that they're like rebuilt and like kept alive. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so cool.
We have a few in Portugal. Uh, I don't know all the locations, but I will I will find out eventually, and I will try
Yeah,
to visit them because
for
right
sure.
now I just love that theater. The way it looks, the way just the decay on it, just looks so beautiful. In a way, you know. I mean, it's a shame that is like that, you know. I wish everything was restored and operational, but it's just beautiful. I just love the way it looks. I just love the art of the decay. I guess is that weird?
Yeah. I mean, to some people it's weird, but to me and to the other explorers and people listening to this podcast, like we all understand it completely. Like the beauty of decay is like what draws us into this.
Yeah, I am an artist, and I draw a lot and I paint a lot, and I always had this. I was always inclined to dark or horror art, you know, and I always try to draw these buildings and all these horror scenes, you know. And when I start exploring and document it, and uh, I start editing and created like this really small horror stories on every picture, and I just loved it. I do it for the art. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And what program or like how do you make your sketches? Are you like hand drawing them or are you putting them together like in a program on the computer? Like how do you make these sketches come to life?
All my sketches are I draw them by hand. Then I just then place them into the pictures, but I draw them all by hand.
Wow. That's amazing. And do you sell your photos with the sketches in them? Like do you sell photo prints?
I never thought about that, and I never thought about selling. But some people they just started asking if I sell them, and if they ask me, I have the pleasure. I don't mind it. I mean, it's good for me. It's good for everyone. So yes, I sell if people ask. I'm not going to. I don't want to make this like a business. But yeah, if people ask me for prints, which happens often, but yes, I sell them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say like if you're not, you should, like they're fantastic and like I mean I want one, like I want one for my wall. I think they're so cool. I'll definitely have to hit you up after this and get one.
Yeah, I've been also having lots of collaborations. People asking me to draw in their pictures, and I am loving that. It takes a lot of time. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with collab
Yeah.
requests sometimes, but I just love it. I just feel very blessed that I had this idea, and yeah, I'm really happy to collaborate with other urban explorers, and I just draw in their pictures and they share on their profiles. I just love it.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to dive more into the community to do what you're doing. And I think what you're doing is very unique. Like I've never seen anybody do this before. So it's like, it really stands out to me.
Thank you
And
so much.
so yeah, of course. Absolutely. Like it's amazing. Do you explore with people or would you rather explore by yourself?
I'd rather explore with people, but unfortunately, I don't have many people like close friends that like the same things that I like. So most of the times I explore alone, and I must say I don't really enjoy it, but I do it, but because I love. But sometimes there are these places that sometimes I when I get there I look at them and I'm like shit. I don't know if I'm going in or not. But yeah, most of the times I get in and I get out, but it's different. We feel that when we are alone, we start imagining, we start listening things, and it's not spirits that I'm afraid. I'm not afraid from ghosts, but in my where I live in, there are a lot of drug addicts and some crime related and some drug related crimes, and sometimes I'm
Yeah.
just scared to go into these places and there's some drug business happening in there.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally get it. It's the same here in America. Um, do you have any goal places, like places you haven't been to yet that you want to go to? And this could be outside of Portugal. This could be anywhere.
Oh yes, I have, and it's in Portugal. But like I told you before, is in South. There are some abandoned uh, palaces. I don't know, and I just saw some pictures by friends of mine that have been there. I got the locations. I just need to go there, and when I have the time, I will because they're just absolutely beautiful. The architecture, everything inside, and some of those palaces they have theaters in them. So that's awesome.
Wow. That's amazing. And my last question for you is What is something you know now that you wish you knew when you started exploring? Like advice you have for yourself, really.
Never explore alone. That I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, because you might just get stuck in some, like some rotten floors, and you might fall and no one knows where you are. So I always recommend to go with someone that can help you in any situation. uh, Always study well the location where you're going, the community around. And I always like to study a little bit about the place where I'm going, know a little bit about the story. And yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's great advice. Definitely. If people want to continue following you, where can they find you online? Can you drop your social media username?
Okay, I am Cursed Sketchbook, Cursed dot Sketchbook on Instagram. And if you want to check my collaborations, I have this page called We Are Cursed. It's just a page for all my collaborations, all my drawings in other urban explorers pictures. It's a great profile. People loved it. So yeah, I started getting so many collaborations that I just had to create a page only for that, because yeah, it just looks beautiful just by looking at the page. All those pictures and all those sketches on it. I just love to watch.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you taking the time to do this and talk to everybody. If you want to say like thank you to the listeners in Portuguese or anything like that, go ahead.
I just want to thank all all the friends that I made in this urbex community. I know places, bro. I love you. Júlio Teixeira, Eduardo Querido, we're together, man. That's it.
All right, everybody. That was my episode with Cursed Sketchbook, Mr. Sketch. If you guys want to check out his photography or his sketches or his collaborations on We Are Cursed, I put his links down in the description for you. Thank you for listening to another episode of the No Tracers podcast. If you would like to come on the show, please hit me up at no.tracers on Instagram or no tracers on TikTok, and we'll get you on the show. I'd love to have you, no matter where you're from, no matter where you live. I just want to keep making episodes, and I want to keep hearing these crazy stories from people. If you're new to the podcast, please hit the subscribe button. If you are a veteran listener, please leave a rating and feedback, and I will give you a signed photo print. If you guys would like to see my photography and get a print of mine, you can head to notracers.com. You can also pick up a copy of my book, No Tracers, An Urban Explorer's Diary. All right, I'll talk to you guys next Friday for another episode. Stay strong, keep enduring, go out, go explore something, and remember, leave no trace.